Hey there, it's Raven Scry. Today I'm going to be sharing a reading of a few altcoins that were voted upon within the gaming area of crypto for me to read. So I'm just going to be sharing those with you, checking into their energies and just sort of seeing where we're at with them. Before we start, this is not financial advice. You've always got to follow your own heart, your own intuition. And these readings certainly can turn out differently than come through. So please just keep that in mind. Okay, so we voted on many different coins. And I've just selected the top three, but the top three was actually Star Atlas and Myria. They were two in the top three. And there is already a reading that I've posted on Patreon about these two coins, checking into their energies. So we're not going to do those. And now the third one was ENJ. One down the list with 18% was Super. And then there was GALA. So we got ENJ, Super, and GALA today that we're just going to check in with their vibes. Okay, so the first project that I'm going to check in here, connecting to the energy of ENJ. Now, giving me a sense of quite a strong, contained energy here within the way it's feeling. But I'm just going to go directly to Spirit with this, how's ENJ going to do as we move? I feel as though it's going to do, okay within the way that it runs. And as I've said so many times, there's going to be so many altcoins that run, and it's just varying different degrees of how they're going to. So I do see this going up, but perhaps it's not as much as some of the others. It doesn't have as much, what can I say, as much light in it, as much, often the coins feel heavier and lighter, and it's like I'm being shown lighter coins, like ENJ has a little bit more of a heavier energy here with it. So I'm not sort of feeling that it can do anything that crazy within how it's coming through, although I do see it moving up. And I guess some of these readings are more about people who are already holding these coins as to whether to hang on to them or not. And of course, your own decision of what you do. But I'm just checking into the energy. It will move, and it could certainly move reasonably, but it doesn't have as much light and as much lift as some of the others in the way that it's shown. So I'm just going to leave it there for ENJ, and we're going to move along now to the next coin that's been voted on, and that's Super with 18%. Okay, connecting now into Super. I feel as though this one does have a lighter energy. I'm talking about the heavier, lighter energies. This one does have a lighter energy, but there's certainly more volatility here as well with it. And in the way that it's coming through, it's like it's brought to my attention. Like I am aware that this coin is very pumped up by influences and whatnot. This is just what's coming into my mind. Sometimes it's like logic comes in for a reason. Other times it's just something that I know. But Super has a lot of hype around it and will have a lot of hype around it. And in some way, it has this lightness and it feels like it could really take off. But I also feel like it's not necessarily being supported by having all this connected hype around it. It's almost like there's an expectation for it to move in a way that is, moving very well. It's almost like there's expectation on it. But within that expectation, it's like it's not quite, it's somehow being restricted within that expectation in the way they show it. But in terms of Super, I certainly feel as though, it will have a reasonable run here. It does have this lighter energy, but it also feels like perhaps it may have more volatility with it, is how it comes through. Now, just asking Spirit a little bit more about Super. the project Super and how it's going to move as we move forward. Yeah, just this lighter energy. I don't know, they're measuring them against each other. Super has this more light, quicker energy, but there is this, it's like the masses are kind of connect in the way that it comes through to me. It's like the masses are connected into it and somehow hindering its movements. It's like it's a bit restricted here in the way they show this. But overall, I do see it moving and moving quite well. But there is this sense that, it's moving up, it gets to a point, and it's like there is more expectation on it to move beyond this point, but it doesn't feel like it gets there. So, this feels like along the timeline as it's doing its thing, it's like it's moved to this point, and it's like it's not, I don't know, there's a limitation there, there's a resistance there, is just what they're bringing to my attention here. There was a 555 as I said that. With this project. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for Super. Some of these have these mixed vibes, mixed energy, and it's kind of a bit of a blend of the trajectory of their movement, but also the overall, place that they end up. And so the next one that I'm going to connect into is GALA games. So as I connect to GALA, it's like there's this sense of space around it. I feel as though there's quite a lot of space in the way that they show this. And really just asking Spirit how this is going to move. I feel as though, there is this sense of ease that comes in here. It's almost like, it's just going to do its thing. It's casually going along doing its thing. There's not as much pressure or something. Something feels locked in some way. So as I move forward down the timeline, it feels, like we're getting reasonable moves again. Again, not to measure them next to each other, and that's what I feel like I keep doing. I feel like this has more ease with it. In terms of, this gaming coin, there's like, hold on to it and it fairly easily should sort of go up and you can take profits, sort of end of story. There is this sense of ease, sense of flow. Some of these other ones have this more intensity around it, like Super has all this kind of collective energy hobbled and huddled around it, whereas GALA just kind of seems to do its move when it's time. It's like, boom, okay, it's time, let's go. And that feels like it's, moving with the market in the way that it goes along here. I do feel like in some ways, like I know this is quite a popular project, but in some ways it's kind of going unnoticed. And, as I said, it's very popular and known, but the energy here that they show me is like there's something that's unseen and unnoticed. And it's like if you're looking for something and trying to find something that's right in front of you is kind of the energy here. It's like, searching for the right thing and you're kind of searching and searching, but it's right there next to you. It doesn't have to be complicated, is the way that Spirit impresses this upon me. So I do feel like there's a bit more of a cruisy flow here with GALA moving forward. But again, I feel like a lot of these crypto gaming tokens are going to do massively volatile moves. And I don't know that I'd want to be hanging on to them for long periods. When they have their runs, certainly taking aggressive profit is what I would be doing. It's not financial advice, but that's what I'd be doing because I don't feel like they're going to hold their gains, over the long term. And I feel like, so many of these are going to fizzle out. So if you get caught holding the bag of crypto, it could just be you'll fizzle out with it, and it just ends up a very shrunken bag in the end. But that's kind of the message that comes through with some of these coins and just things to keep in mind. I feel like I'm a bit, negative on the whole story. And I'm certainly, that's not my intention here. I am very positive moving forward, but I just want everyone to really take care in what they're investing in and realizing, particularly gaming, realizing how volatile it can be, and you could just, lose a lot very quickly. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for those readings. I hope you found them to be helpful. If you've got anything to share about them, please pop them in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Raven Scry signing off.